Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to talk to you about kind of the mindset that traders need to be having here, and we're going to get into the take from an analyst and an expert trader out there not selling XRP. Okay, so we'll kind of get into that claim as well as kind of more so the strategy of what he's doing, and that's what's going to be important as we all kind of navigate the crypto world right now as it currently stands. The market's volatile, tariff talk each and every single day, and we had some headway, right? Bitcoin was pressing all-time highs, seemingly every single day, a new all-time high for BTC, and then all of a sudden, guys, we have some volatility, tariffs are renewed, or the thought of them are to be renewed, and now we're left into the weekend with a little bit of a volatility warning across the board, and sell-offs are at a premium. So let's talk about kind of what we have going on. I want to get down into it, and if you do hold XRP, make sure you all stick around to the end of this video, and also be sure to subscribe down below. If you're following along on X, make sure you also give me a follow. We were talking about XRP down in the trenches before the SEC litigation. This is something where we've been talking XRP for years, and it's not necessarily everyone in the world's favorite crypto, and that's quite all right, but there is a lot of noise and news that we need to discuss here in this video. So let's get into it. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Hope you all are doing well, and please remember as we get down into it that this is not financial advice, but we will talk about kind of the selling points. Okay, and what I mean by that is everybody and their brother, right, starts trading crypto, whether or not you're coming over from the financial world or not, without a game plan. Okay, and that's why this is going to be kind of ever so important. So as XRP is on a red day, as we look at the markets kind of trending downwards with that negative pressure coming out from the tariffs being renewed, we're going to talk about this because if you do have a great strategy put in place that is specific to your journey as a crypto trader, it will help you navigate these tough waters, because I think that that's something where a lot of people go wrong, and then they're left in an emotional decision, and they do make an emotional decision that they may kind of cherish or regret as the days will go on. So let's get down into it. I want to talk to you guys about kind of where we're at in the overall marketplace as we look at coin market cap. And as you see, guys, Bitcoin under 105. Ethereum's kind of holding true. All right, so they are down 3% in the last 24 hours, but still a little bit of strength during weakness as Ethereum trading at 25.75. But as it relates to XRP, we'll take a dive into the $2.20 territory. And as over the last month has progressed, we have kind of given back what we have seen. This is kind of the break-even point for me as we look at XRP on the charts, where we have washed away all of those gains dating back to pretty much the 5th and the 7th of May, respectively. So please keep that in mind. That's how volatile crypto can be, and you have to kind of rely on your best judgment, your expertise, and all of the tools that you do assemble to make the best decisions possible. I rely mostly on momentum in terms of my trading. Momentum and EMAs, I think, are the two kind of most important things within my crypto trading. It's not financial advice. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert at TA, but I do take advantage of some tools to allow me to make great trades. But I want to tell you guys kind of about what we have going on before we get into this article. If you are looking to start trading on a new exchange, check out our friends at BTCC. Now, within this, guys, 10% bonus on your first time deposit using my link, 40% lower trading fees, and as always, BTCC, there is no VPN or KYC necessary, up to 500x leverage, 14 plus years in the industry. Give them a look, right? I'm not telling you guys to do it. You're all big boys and girls in the space. You can make the decisions that you guys want to make. But if you are looking for a new exchange, or if you're looking to take advantage of a great promotion and you are a leverage trader or spot trader, check out BTCC. That link is down below. Okay, just understand their terms and conditions. All right, but let's segue a little bit into the bubbles here as we look at kind of the market, and it's a red day. There's a lot of memes getting hit with some volatility. We're not here to talk about that right now, but the XRP chart, as we look at it, $2.20, it's kind of like I said, we washed away pretty much the last month, and unfortunately it is what it is. And that's why we're going to get into this strategy from an expert trader here, saying that he is not selling a single XRP anytime soon until XRP hits this price. Now, revealing his exit strategy, we're going to be talking about this because my exit strategy, your exit strategy, it may differ as we kind of approach this discussion, and that's okay, right? There's some people that they could make $1,000 trading XRP, and it's a home run for them. They change their lives forever. And I know a lot of people are probably chuckling at that statement, but it's true. I've met in kind of traded words with a lot of different crypto investors. There's some that play with pennies and there's some that play with millions, and that's all right too. And hopefully all one day, the goal is eventually to use cryptocurrency for, I would say, the vast majority. And, I don't really put a cap on anything because I think it kind of inhibits your growth. But I think the vast majority of crypto traders out there, they want to become millionaires, plain and simple, right? And I think that in 2025, the word millionaire is a very loosely used word, because I think $1 million doesn't go as far as it did back in the 90s and 2000s, so to speak. But it's where we're at today, and we're going to talk about this as we get into it. But in talking with Eduardo Farina, the founder of Alpha Lions Academy, revealing his personal XRP strategy, I will tell you guys my exit strategy for XRP at the end of this video. Spoiler alert, never exiting, just kidding. But we will talk about it as Eduardo gets into kind of his hold strategy until the token hits $1. Now, the token just at a $2.20 price level. At the time of this publication, it was $2.15. Talking about a triple digit range there, that would be almost just a little bit under a 50x for Eduardo. And there are a lot of varying XRP price predictions. Full disclosure, I've heard people talk about $4, $5, $9, $10, anywhere from 17 to 20. I've even heard the 30 to 40 case by the end of this year. And also I have heard the triple digit XRP and even $10,000 final destination for XRP at large. Okay. And that's a whole nother discussion. That's a three-finger discussion, if you know what I mean, because it's not FUD, but there's a lot of things that I would like to say about some of those price predictions. And here, as we stand today, that's just going to be a little longer of a conversation. But back into Eduardo and what he's looking at in terms of an exit point, selling XRP for celebration, okay? Saying and emphasizing that he has no intention of fully exiting his position. Instead, he plans to leverage XRP for long-term wealth generation through lending platforms once regulations are in place. Now, that's pretty interesting. I actually kind of did get kind of involved with I was listening to a podcast or somebody talking about it in the space, and Bitcoin kind of being fed through real estate and vice versa, right? And keeping that passive income with the appreciation of Bitcoin, if you do believe in those 4-year cycles. And it kind of caught my eye. So I kind of look at crypto, starting to kind of get into the other ways to invest in crypto a little bit more so. And as he looks into this potentially for lending platforms, so to speak, it's very interesting. Okay. But he talks about how he started to accumulate XRP as low as 20 cents. For me, it was about 40, 50 cents for me, and start taking profits at $10. He intends to sell a small portion, around 3 to 4% of his total XRP at that level. Talking about the XRP Yachting Party in Mykonos. All right. That's a joke, right? I'm a pretty big disproponent of the when Lambo mentality within cryptocurrency. More so because it gets a lot of people wrecked. It's false hope. It's false advertising for a lot of things. It's fun to joke about it, but if you are trying to be serious about saying when Lambo, personally, there's a lot better cars out there if I had that money to buy a Lamborghini than a Lamborghini, just to be kind of honest. But that's kind of more for TikTok and more for those fanboys out there with the pom-poms. I'm not really that kind of person, trader, or, just at face value. You're never going to find me with my my cheerleading outfit on, talking about buying a Lamborghini with my crypto money, because I just truly believe that's a waste of money. And if that's what's going to get you there, then so be it. But talking about the majority of these proceeds diversifying into real estate, especially in Greece. Only 10% of his XRP is on exchanges, reserved for cashing out and active trading, while 90% is in cold storage wallets. I have to agree with that. Big proponent of that. I've actually won a lot of trades because it was a little harder for me to sell. Not that I couldn't sell, but I was staking, and if it was liquid, if it was readily available on an exchange, I probably would have pulled the trigger in some turbulent water. But because of the cold storage, it does kind of give you a little bit more of a lengths and bounds that you have to get through to make those trades. So that's kind of where we look at. But a lot of market commentators teasing at $10 price target this year. But XRP holders in the XRP community looking at the larger price targets such as 50 and 100, and that's where Farina's second exit target would be when it reaches $50. At that point, plans to sell another 3 to 4%, and his final planned sale at $100, where he intends to sell just 2% of his XRP. All right. And that's kind of where he looks into that as his strategy. And we look at kind of some of the analysts such as Changely and Telegon, unanimous that it could take until the next decade for XRP to reach $100. Now, we're not going to get into price predictions. I'm not going to talk about that. This is more so about strategy and how to approach this. And we want to go over kind of what Farina is doing. The one kind of comment I will make, and from my experience, I do think it's valuable. If you are using whole numbers such as $1, $10, $5, $100, just for argument purposes, whether or not you believe that or not, I recommend, and this is not financial advice, you guys can do whatever the heck you guys want to do with your own holdings. I'll never tell you to buy or sell crypto, but I would recommend and share with you guys kind of how I do it. Don't get caught up on the whole numbers, right? If you've been stuck in a trade where, even if you're trading on leverage or whatever, and you're waiting to break a threshold, a psychological barrier, to get rid of a zero, I don't recommend doing that, because then you can get hit with some macro and it could change the sentiment just like this. And the next thing you know, you can't make that trade, and now you're stuck. You lose another 10 to 15%. It's happened to me numerous of times. And now I just kind of say, well, if I'm going to sell at 100, what's the difference if I sell at 95, 96? So just kind of temper that a little bit below those psychological numbers. Okay. But Farina goes on to talk about these targets, saying that his goal is to not sell most of his XRP, but to lend it to banks once regulatory clarity is achieved. He thinks that there will be a lot of rewards through lending platforms, contracts, whether it be in stablecoins, currency of fiat, and XRP itself, and caution to rush before regulatory clarity does emerge. Now, that's something where you look into his thought and how he thinks it's reckless to exit without understanding XRP's potential role in the future financial system. Okay, I think that works two ways. And just to kind of put a bow on his strategy, he thinks that just selling 10% of the XRP that one does own won't harm a long-term strategy. Now, just kind of reiterate kind of what he wants to do, and we'll kind of get out of here on this note. The one thing I'll say about waiting for the regulation within the future financial system is it's a 4-year window, okay? Unless Democrats kind of shift the guard here with crypto, which I don't foresee happening, and then you run the risk of, J.D. Vance or whoever would be getting reelected for the United States in terms of having a Republican candidate. And this has nothing to do with politics. It's just crypto. It's just calling a spade a spade. If you vote red, it's a vote for crypto. If you vote blue, you're probably going to have a little tougher time trading. Okay. That's just my 2 cents. And that leaves the politics out of it. It's pretty much cut and dry. And you're seeing that right now with the largest pro-regulation task force and ensemble that you could ever assemble to get it done in terms of digital currency within the United States. Now, what I'm trying to get across to you guys also as this regulatory clarity and what the replacing the future financial system does entail, keep this in mind. Right now, crypto operates mainly based on speculation and FOMO. If you do have that clarity, whether it's good or bad, you lose a lot of that speculation. So right now, I think XRP does hold the line a little bit. We talked about $2 being the new 50 cents floor a little bit, and I kind of view it that way. But if you do reduce that speculation, that FOMO, a lot of people will get flighty and think in the way that can't go up from here. Okay, you lose that inertia that is, albeit kind of subjective in a sense, but you do lose that push that is just kind of invisible to what's actually in reality. So if everything goes to plan, and XRP replaces the SWIFT banking system and it becomes the next best thing for the financial system, since a credit card, I think that you kind of look at the future as being very bright. But if we do get a kind of a headwind here, 2028, it's a shift in the political guard, in a regression politically and regulatory sake. it probably would not bode well for XRP if they can't get this all done within this window that we have all of these bodies, administrative bodies such as the Crypto Task Force, all that good stuff within Washington. So that's kind of my thoughts, comments, a little XRP rant to get you guys going into the weekend. Appreciate you all tuning in. And as always, if you're following along on X, make sure you follow me there. Yeah, leave me a comment. We'll get the discussion going, and be sure to give me a like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out BTCC down below in the description if you guys want to start trading on that platform. And outside of that, guys, yeah, appreciate it. We'll stay the course. It's rocky right now, but I do think it's short-lived, and we'll see kind of what we have coming to us in the weekend and beyond. All right. So have a great rest of your evening and weekend, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.